I know that's right. I just got done looking at a clip. Soraya, she just sent me, showing me her little child gameplay thing. Man, I gotta get her a iPad, either an iPad, go in my Apple history and pull something out of my list.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you got the devices the kids can learn off of. You know, sometimes we can't teach our kids the knowledge they need. Like, you know, we might have trouble helping them with homework and stuff, and a lot of times those pads, if you set them up the right way for kid use only, and they can find the kind of help they need, you can probably sit in with a kid too
and definitely
learn,
definitely,
you know what I'm saying? So that's dope. Especially with kids like Soraya. Soraya only what, like she about to be 6?
She about to be 6 the 14th of January, man. She's in kindergarten right now.
So what was she working on there?
She was doing her cognitive. It was a little cognitive test she had pulled up for me. She was like looking at little patterns and stuff like that, and placing things in the right order. She's learning how to read. She's pretty good at memorizing words. So that's kind of like the first step. You know what I'm saying? Me myself,
she gonna start putting them into sentences too. So don't be surprised. That's one of the first steps.
She already has the definition of integrity down. Every time I get on the phone with her, I ask her 2 questions. What's the definition of integrity? Doing the right thing when nobody's looking, and the definition of success. That one right there, you can kind of take the root meaning of success and put your own words to. So looking back and doing and pointing out things that you're proud of. You know, that to me, that's the definition of success. Also gave that to her. So,
yeah, man. Speaking of things that you're proud of, I think me and you was talking earlier, and you know, I'm talking about pouring into our kids when our kids have had this kind of confidence. But I was talking to you about, you know, I'm in school and I work full time. I went to trade school, and you know our background, like we said a bunch of times on here, that you know we street cats that. You know, rap is the full-time thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got a lot of success in rap. Did numerous things. Still as a fan of hip hop to the fullest.
Most definitely.
But you know, now we're in different realms and different arenas and doing different things. And I had mentioned to you that it seems like when a black man is educating himself, you know, we become even more feared and looked at with more caution than when we're just wild, untamed, and we don't know our talents.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like we can't win for losing in the eyes of some of the colonizers. One thing I realized is colonizers would say things to your face, and they know you need that check, and they want you to say stuff in rebuttal that could get you in trouble.
Yeah.
But as a black man that has come from seeing so many people trick themselves off the street,
that was my next phrase in my head. Yeah.
It's like you bite your tongue on certain things, but you take notes and you just see how you're being treated. You know what I'm saying? And you said something about integrity. You know, I believe in integrity to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I'm perfect. I think that there's times that I'm at work and I don't have too much to do, and I might hide that. I might be exhausted just from a week, or you know, we've been grinding a lot at work, or whatever the issue might be. I mean, grinding in school, and I'm taking this opportunity to chill because I see other techs that chill. You know. So, with that being said, you know, most of the time we holding up our end of the bargain. You know, if you hire us for something, whether it's, and then you know, I run a business too. So if you hire us for something and it's a service, and you expect a type of service, that's the type of service I want to give a person.
Right.
I don't want to give people half-ass service. I don't want to give people empty promises or unfulfilled promises. So, you know, when you work for a person, and you know, it's been more than a year I've worked for this company, you know, you think that they would have your habits down pat. They know how you move. But it just seems that the more and more I do as a black man, the more and more insecurities show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, you black. Most of the people we deal with are black.
Yeah.
It's always feeling like we got to work harder.
And I remember hearing that ever since we were kids, man. Like, oh, you know, when you get to the job, you got to work harder than everybody there. And truth be told, that's the honest to God truth. It feels like no matter what you do, how good of a job you do, you still have to show and prove. Now, I do believe in you only as good as your last job. I also live by that as well. There's nothing like a person, an old cat out there, you know, trying to go back down memory lane, and that time just came and went.
Yeah.
So I definitely do. I definitely believe in the understanding of you're only as good as your last job.
Now we talked about, you know, it was a few weeks back, not a few weeks back, a few months back, when our earlier podcast we talked about code switching.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, the need for it feel like black people that have to code switch.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of me feeling like this is why I act a certain way at work, and then I carry myself a different way outside of work.
Yeah.
So when we're doing this, we don't realize the level of consciousness that we tapping into on and off on a daily basis as black people. You know, we're able to juggle these different personas and still offer the highest services that we can offer. I mean, it says a lot to our intelligence, and I don't think that we give ourselves the credit, you know what I'm saying, sometimes. I think that we look at ourselves in a demeaning way because the ones that are controlling how the checks are cut and stuff like that give you that impression. But I'm here to say that you have to pull yourself out of those stereotypes that you feed into, that you know they're stereotypes.
Yeah.
And that they're giving you these stereotypes, and we just become them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because, like I said, man, I've been told at work that I was poor. Like the man knows what I make an hour. You know, I make great money. You know what I'm saying? I could make more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the goal. That's why I'm going to school. So, but for you to say I'm poor, it's like when you go to church and you're getting preached poverty instead of prosperity. Like those frequency words, it's like he's trying to throw them out there because that's the frequency that you're vibrating on. I'm not vibrating on poverty frequency.
Exactly. And I look at that and I say to myself, well, that's a reflection of that person's thoughts. No matter if they're trying to put it on you due to the fact that that's what's going on with them. Then you tell me this guy lived in a subdivision as well, but he
he would call up where he lives a sub. I live in a sub because you know the regional manager, he lives in the sub. So you want to relate to him,
and you're not related. Well,
and his square footage is just different. You know, it's not a rectangle, my guy. Right. It's an actual home with different compartmentalizations that don't have anything to do with the normal layout of a double wide, triple wide, or a single wide. Yeah. So when I realized that he was putting on airs about where he lived, I'm like, oh, this guy can't live in his own truth.
Yeah, now that's where that goes. That's what I was gonna say right there. It's kind of like you took some of the words out of my mouth when it comes to that, man. This guy is a reflection of his own demons, and he's trying to pass that off. Also, too, based on his upbringing, 9 times out of 10, he probably just can't believe that a black man is doing better than him.
And I mean, as a black man, the reason I'm trying to do better is because when we were doing music, I had a guy that used to help me with my music. I don't call him assistants or nothing like that. This was a guy I would consider an exec at what he was doing. He was an executive at what he was doing. But this guy went to school, got a GED, went to the service, served, came home, got a bachelor's, got a master's, owns his own home. He's black, helped me get my name out there in the hip hop world. So we moved thousands of CDs.
Didn't he just get you a quote on the?
Yeah, he just helped me get my house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to buy a home, and these are the things that, you know what I'm saying, I never would have imagined I could attain because of the programming that we go through as young black men.
Yep.
And we do see some black people get stuff, and we don't think that it's achievable because we don't see the accessibility to these type of opportunities in a way that, you know, some other people might see it. You know what I'm saying? So once you learn how to see the opportunities and read and be aware of stuff,
you can't unsee that. Then,
you know, you grasp stuff different. So, you know, just looking at how this supervisor looks at people of color And then, you know, and I'm not even telling you let's don't even have I'm not even scratching the surface on the racism that occurs at my job. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, do I fight the whole system, or do I just go to work, get my check, and then work on my goals?
Actually, everything that you have going on, you know, behind the scenes is actually fighting the whole system. You know, if you really look at it, because it does. If you want to see a change, I've heard this a lot too. This is all
You got
what
to
they
be
say.
that change.
Yeah,
you got to be that change.
You have to be that
you know what I'm
change.
saying? It's not we call these things cliches, but you got to always remember, man, these are the keys to life, man.
Yeah.
When you hear a cliche, if you put those in a practical application, there's nothing you can't achieve.
Now, yeah.
You
So now,
know what
when
I'm
you
saying?
look up 5 years from now collectively, you look at the plan you, let's say you and your guys, or maybe you and your age bracket all had, and you see that there's progression there. You just beat the system. You beat the system.
And that's the way that you have to look at things. Like, we used to look at things in a day-to-day basis when you hustling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you're on the block, I give it. You might look at things in a 2-week span, because you're gonna look at cop time, get back on time, what time of the month we in. You know what I'm saying? So you take into account like a 2-week cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Outside, not even outside of what can occur while you hustling. You know what I'm saying? You might have little beefs that might happen. You might have life that might happen that don't have nothing to do with hustling. You know what I'm saying? But when you get into this realm of a career, you start planning 5 years in advance.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a part of your norm. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really see anything in a completed way unless it's 5 years. In 5 years, you can see you achieving something and how it's going the first year or two. You know what I'm saying? You can plan for that. So when I go to work and I'm questioning about, am I doing my schoolwork at work? Of course not. But when my downtime and my study and my schoolwork, of course.
What better place? You're the most attentive.
And this isn't, I'm a student inside out, and it's not just about what I'm learning at school. You know, in the trade, you have to continuously learn. You know what I'm saying? So I might be one of them guys that get to watch 5 to 10 hours a week of TV. Every time, everything else is reading, rereading, processing information, doing assignments at work, doing assignments as a parent, keeping those other things in the back of my mind, pondering them while I'm maintaining my household, while I'm assisting in other households because I have kids. So again, I say, if you're black and you're wondering if you got what it takes and you're able to balance out that kind of life and you still get the haters,
you're gonna get the haters.
And you questioning yourself, stop questioning yourself, because it's not the self that's bringing you to the place of darkness or the place of questioning. It's the people outside of you that are trying to create distraction.
Most definitely, because
you know what I mean?
Ultimately, they are distracted by how well you're doing. You know, some people. You got two people in this world. When it comes to people accomplishing things, you're gonna see people either congratulate you and mean it, or you're gonna see people actually hit you with a backhanded compliment if they're not just basically blatantly hating in front of your face. There's the only two people in this world. You know what I'm saying? So the good thing about it is, once you're aware of that, you're going to be aware of the people who wholeheartedly mean it, and you're going to be aware of the people who wholeheartedly really just don't fuck with you. They gotta tolerate you, and he has to tolerate you because you are doing obviously an exceptional job where you are. There's no walk in the park about what you do. So
and then it's like
you gotta think about his
like
mindset.
You gotta be able to. You know, we live in a world, especially in America, where you have to be able to know your ground as a black man to be able to maneuver and get to point A to B, because in between those stops you got police, you got haters, you got cases that could be caught, you got lives that could be lost, you got items that could be taken away. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know, when I leave, I'm in the hood in a sense. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not at work, you know what I'm saying? And it's not the hood to where we got poverty going, we got trash everywhere, but it's tricky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be aware of your surroundings. And when you take some of those qualities into corporate America, and you know you got to be aware of your surroundings because you're a black man trying to produce in a legal arena, you're gonna have some people that meticulously micromanage the way you operate.
Yeah.
You can be doing everything perfect and still get looked at as somebody that is incompetent. How can I be incompetent when at this point, and not to brag, but at this point, I'm crushing the schoolwork. And I told you earlier, when I get into the math, yeah, we may have some issues, some hiccups, but I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to put the work in to accomplish that part of it too. And with that kind of determination, it just shows me, for one, I know that it's not just in me, because I've seen other black people do extraordinary things, and that put the fire under me. So this is something that we all have as black people. And if we don't start exercising this supremacy, not racial supremacy, but talent supremacy that we have, and we're only competing against our old selves. When I say supremacy,
most definitely,
your supreme self versus
your lower self.
your lower self that they want you living in so much that you can't be the best version of you.
You know, sometimes people just, you know, me personally, the way I see certain things, man, some people want to get into your head so they can, you know, turn you into a puppet. But then again, you got people who are going to be free thinkers, and based on their qualifications and their know-how, they're going to go into the lanes of opportunities that they see best fit for themselves, and they are going to capitalize. They are going to kill it. My question to you guys out there is, how much do you deal with this type of supremacy on a basis? Is this something that you notice, or is it something you not notice? Do you feel like you're aware of it or not?
Man. Leave comments, and also make sure y'all liking and subscribing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all doing that, but please leave comments.
Oh, another thing is too, in the community section, we have some merchandise there, so hit the like button, leave a comment on that as well, because I want to see what you guys like before we put anything out for sale. It will be going on for sale here the next week. Talk to you in a minute.